Welcome to R&R Across America. Join me, Rich, and my daughter Rose on our motorcycle adventure.
Good morning, this is Rich, and you pay attention to the opening and to the logo in the corner, you know what today's surprise is. Rose is with us finally. Rose, do you want to tell us where we're going today?
We're going 4 days, and we're going to start in Kentucky, go to Indiana, and then Illinois, and then back here.
So this is our multi-day trip that she has to complete in order for us to go to California. So we're going to be setting up tent, tearing down tent every day, driving a good little distance, setting up tent, tearing down tent. We're riding with full packs. That's something new. You already felt the difference this morning. This is our test for the trip out to California. And if she's nervous about riding, if she decides that she doesn't want to have time away from friends, boyfriends, or just time away from her normal life right before she goes to college, she's going to say no, and I'm going to go on by myself. But this is our trial trip, and we'll see how it works out. Stay with us, pray for us, hopefully we have a good, safe trip.
Yeah.
And we will hit the road, and we'll talk to you soon. So we're about 150 miles outside of Nashville, and on the interstate, we're in the left-hand lane, and all of a sudden Rose says, I've lost power, I've lost power, I've lost power. And we pull over on the left-hand side, which doesn't have any shoulder at all. Her bike has just quit running. And if you remember when we went to Rhea Springs, we had the same issue on a back road, but that was a battery, and we ended up going to a couple of towns and getting a new battery, and it ran fine. And it's run fine since then. One time in our neighborhood, we had an issue with it sputtering and stopping. Took the carburetor off, cleaned it all out. Everything seemed to be fine. Since then, we've ridden it. I've ridden it several times since then to make sure. Like I said, we're 150 miles outside of Nashville, and it just died on the side of the interstate. So we've got it sputtering, got it running, got off on this exit. I've taken it up down the road, kind of blew it out, really revved it hard, and tried to blow out the carburetor. It seems like it's running good now. We're going to get back on the interstate, stay in the right-hand lane. That way we have to pull over, we got a shoulder, and go a few more exits and see what happens. She's nervous, understandably, she's nervous, but like I told her, if nobody gets hurt, it's an adventure, it's a story, and we'll be able to tell a story and laugh about it later. Not now, but later. So we're going to fill up with gas, take a little break, try to calm our nerves, get back on the interstate, and see what we can do. So I think we're going to be okay, but it'll be fine, sweetie. All right, let's go.
are in
London, Kentucky
at Holly Bay Campground. We have the tent set up. This is a very, very woodsy, secluded, alone campground. There is no one else around us at all. No one in sight anywhere. We got the whole place to ourselves. We left Tennessee this morning, had a fun adventure.
It only took us 2 hours to figure out.
We got through that adventure. Some dirt in the carburetor, I believe. I got on it and re-revved it and blew it out, and it seems like it cleared it out. That was 80 to 100 miles, I guess, 100 or so into our trip. Got that cleared out, and we've made the rest of the trip fine. I think this is 250-ish miles today. So tell us about the adventure in your own words and how you felt.
This morning, I started off very, very cold in the first place, so my hands were kind of stuck on my...
It was like 51 degrees when we took off this morning. Sorry.
Okay, I was cold.
Sorry.
And
it was cold.
So I was already pretty cold, and then it just went out. So I was talking to him at that point, and I just said, hey, it's gone. And I just quickly pulled over in like this much of a lane. It was not very much of a lane.
The shoulder, seriously, it was about that much. It was on the left-hand side of the interstate, and we had traffic on our right, so she couldn't get over on the wider shoulder on the right-hand side. So we did the horrible thing of stopping on the left, but that's all we could do. She lost power.
We were only there for like a couple minutes. We just started back up, and I kind of puttered over. Luckily, we were really, really close to a exit. And once we were there, I was kind of scared that we were gonna have to go home because I really didn't want to go home, or I didn't know how to get home.
And it was an exit gas station in the hood.
Yeah, it was. That part was not my favorite. We're there, and I always just thought we'd have to go home the whole time. And then he was like, I think it's good, like it sounds better now. And when I got back on it, it felt fine. Like you can feel the difference in your own motorcycle. And it felt fine. And I was like, okay, if it happens again, I told him that we were going home. I didn't want to get stuck really far away.
I agree.
But it didn't happen again the whole day. It was actually great. Nothing happened. So I think that we're gonna be good.
2-hour detour, so we're here a little later than we planned on, but that's okay. I keep saying it over and over. Anything that happens that we come away with it safe, uninjured, is a story and an adventure. So it's just going to add to our stories. So.
Yep. I think it was good in the end. It was not good in the beginning, but
neither one of us have eaten all day, and it is 5:30 in the afternoon or in the evening. So we're both kind of hungry. We're going to stop, sit down and eat a little bit, relax, watch the sunset, listen to nature, and then get in bed and go to sleep pretty soon.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm glad we're here safe.
Me too.
Thanks, guys. See you. So if you ever want gourmet food, we have spicy pinto beans,
Red beans and rice.
and red beans and rice. Put the two cans together, a little salt and pepper, mix it all up, heat it up, and it's going to be the best meal we'll have all day.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be the only meal we're going to have all day.
That's a fact.
We're at Laurel River Lake here in London, Kentucky. Our campsite is just up the hill. It's a beautiful lake. Water is about 8 or 10 feet deep next to me, and I can see the bottom. So really a crystal clear, pretty lake. The sun is setting behind you and hitting the mountains right behind us. It's really pretty out here. So what do you think?
I just wish it was warmer so I could swim, but it's really, really pretty.
It is really pretty out here. There she is. Well, good morning. It was a chilly one last night. It got down to 41 degrees. Rose was a little bit chilly, she said. I stayed warm. I did pretty good. The only thing that got cold on me was my nose because it's outside of the sleeping bag, but everything else felt pretty good on me. We're gonna tear down the campsite, pack everything around the bikes, take off this morning. We're headed to Indiana, so we're gonna leave eastern Kentucky, head up to middle of Kentucky, and up toward Indiana. We'll see what we can find up there. Right now, we're gonna make a little breakfast, get ready, and start the day. Let's go, guys. We're at Lake Pachoka in Indiana. We've got the tent set up. The bikes are right next to us, right next to the tent. We've got a little campfire ring, got our chairs, a table. I've already got the stove set up. We're gonna fix something to eat. Rose is inside, setting things up inside the tent. So we just got here, had a good trip here the whole time, no problems at all. Beautiful weather, as you can see, nothing but blue skies. Oh, bright sun. This is a really pretty place, a really nice place. It's a big park, a big RV, campground, lake, resort, marina, everything. I'll let Rose say goodbye from inside the tent. See ya. So we just crossed over the Indiana into Illinois state line. We both had to go to the restroom, so we stopped at a rest stop. Want to use the restroom, stretch our legs, get back on the road, and head on out. Right behind me is Glen O. Jones Lake, right outside of Equality, Illinois. There's the tent. We are eating black bean soup right now. Rose is just across the table from me. Just to let you know, we haven't taken a shower in 3 days, and it is not pleasant. But the attendant here at the campground told us about a swimming area about 15 miles from here. So we rode out today 15 miles and took a bath in the lake, and I feel better. I don't feel clean like I'm at home, but I do feel a whole lot better than I did earlier today. So we're going to finish eating, lay down, hopefully sleep a little bit. It's supposed to be quite a bit warmer tonight than it's been the last 2 nights. So hopefully we'll both sleep good, won't get hot. The last 2 nights have been chilly. Tonight we may be hot. We'll wake up tomorrow morning and then we're going to head back home to Nashville. It's a pretty sight here. There is up on top of the hill a statue to Tecumseh. He's an Indian chief who was trying to get multiple tribes around this area to band together and to fight the white man back from taking over their lands. And it didn't work. He failed in getting all the tribes together, and the white man, of course, took over. Obviously, we're here now. The attendant here thought it was kind of funny that the white man would build a statue to commemorate Tecumseh in his effort to try to kill the white man. And that's kind of funny. I like that. It's a pretty little place. The only problem here is that we have no coverage, none at all. We have to drive down a good little ways to get coverage there, or if we go up the hill to the Tecumseh statue and then go to the first tree on the right, we get coverage. So it's kind of funny. But we'll have a good night tonight sleeping, and then tomorrow morning we'll head out and head back home to Nashville. Thanks, guys. See ya. Good morning. It's 7:30 in the morning, and you got to see the sunrise, and that was beautiful out over the lake. Glen O. Jones Lake in Indiana. We are hopping on the bikes. I'm going to take off and head back towards Nashville. So hopefully have a good, safe trip and make it all the way in, and we will see you on the ride, and we'll talk to you when we get home. So see you guys. We're home, 1,000 miles, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, back into Kentucky, back into Tennessee. We were talking on the way here. 7 months ago, she didn't even know how to ride a motorcycle. Within 7 months, she's done 1,000 miles. Today, this trip is 1,000 miles. So that's a huge undertaking. I hate to say this, huge undertaking for a woman, a huge undertaking for anyone within 7 months to go from no ability to ride a motorcycle to doing 1,000 miles. So this is our testing grounds. She's gonna go home, think about it. We've talked about that a little bit too. Think about how she feels about day after day, long days on the bike, setting up tent, and realizing that when we go to California, it's almost 10 times this. It's gonna be 30 days versus 4 days, and that's a big undertaking. So she's gonna take that, go home, settle down, think about it, spend some time, and decide if she wants to do next year or not, and that's fine. I support her whatever she wants to do. If she doesn't go to California the next year, we can do some weekends, a little day trip here, 2-day trip there, and that'll be fine. She also said on this that maybe this is our big trip. I'm great with that too. We had a great time. One of my favorite times the entire trip was last night. We sat out there in front of a tent, looking out over the lake. It was pretty much a half moon, but it was plenty of light. And we just sat and talked for an hour, hour and a half about nothing. That was great. That meant a lot to me, that we just had time together to just sit and talk about nothing. We're safe, we're happy, we're home, and we're gonna go take a shower and get some rest. So thanks guys, and we'll see you. Way to go, Rose.
Thanks for watching R&R Across America. We're Rich and Rose.
Hey, this is a little postscript to mine and Rose's trip to Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois. It was the first time I traveled with the solar panel on the trailer. And if you remember from the last video, I was really proud of myself of the little shock absorber system that I had created for the solar panel. Well, I actually had a little thought in my head of a problem that might come up, but I didn't really think it'd be the problem that it became. And that is the threads on the bolts that went through the hole on the frame of the solar panel. They'd rub up and down on the hole, and I thought it might waller out the hole. Now, that's a word here in Tennessee. You may not know it where you're from, but waller out the hole, which means the threads would tear the hole a little bit bigger. But I just thought it would make the hole bigger, and then the threads would actually travel smoother up through the hole when the springs compressed. Well, let me show you what really happened. I've done a little work, so these additional holes are new and the number's new, but this is what happened. It totally tore out the frame of the solar panel. It's aluminum, and the bolts, did a number on every one of the holes. I've got Sharpie all over my fingers where I've been marking distances on the bolts here, but this is what I kind of had before. I had the bolt, a spring, I had a travel limiter bolt, then the frame of the solar panel went on top of the spring, and then a bolt came down on top of that, and that allowed the spring to give. Well, the threads of the bolt tore the frame open. So what I came up with was to put a sleeve where it goes through the frame of the solar panel, and that allows it to be good and smooth and not ragged, sawtooth like the threads on the bolt are. Then, to reinforce the damage that happened to the frame of the solar panel, I bought a thicker metal piece, followed the hole system. This will bolt in, that will go over the hole, and then the collar, the smooth collar, will go inside this large hole, and that is what will slide up and down. This being a much heavier, thicker piece of metal, these bridging the distance of the damage, I think it's going to work out a whole lot better. Main thing is the sawtooth of the threads of the bolt won't be sawing into this hole. Now you can see the smooth sleeve. This is the travel limit nut. As you can see, the frame smoothly and easily travels up and down on the sleeve. And now I'm going to the Ozarks to catch up on that trip that I had planned. The next video, we'll be able to tell if this new fix works. If it doesn't, we'll move on and try another fix. So that's the postscript to the Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois trip that Rose and I took, and an update on the solar panel, and we'll see what happens on the next trip. See you guys.